Hey, what's up, guys? It's Saturday morning, just heading up to the track. It's about 8:20. Kind of running late. Not really. Practice starts at 9, so I don't know. I guess I like to be there a little early because there's probably going to be a line, but whatever. Track's only like 10-15 minutes from my house, so. Happy Cinco de Mayo. I think from that movie, I always call it Sinkhole de Mayo because Jonah Hill said Sinkhole de Mayo, a bunch of Mexicans getting sucked into the ground. I can't even remember what movie that is, but I think it's freaking hilarious. But should be a fun day. A little overcast, some cloud cover, so hopefully it stays cool for long. It's already 60, so it's supposed to get up to 85. It's gonna feel pretty hot later, so should be fun. So nice out. Just rocking out to my country music. Driving up here talking to myself like a dipshit. For those of you that don't ride dirt bikes, I kind of just wanted to go into the fitness side of everything. Sports Illustrated actually named Supercross and motocross the most physical, demanding sport in the world the last, gosh, I don't even know, probably 5 years. And it's kind of cool that actually Sports Illustrated that mostly covers just like, I don't know, football probably is the most common thing that I can think of. I don't watch basketball or anything else. I do watch football, but it's pretty much all they cover. So for them to actually come cover motocross and supercross is just is pretty cool. So sport's growing, which is sweet. But just to get into the fitness side of it, for those of you that don't actually ride a dirt bike or know what's going on, basically heart rates are insane. First of all, on race day, when you're racing, race pace is a whole different pace than practice. You can't recreate what's going on race day on a practice day. It's just impossible. But come race day, a lot of the guys' heart rates we're seeing are 190. I know Christian Craig has showed his a couple times up in the 200s, which is ridiculous. When I went to the Monster Cup, I watched Marvin Musquin. His heart rate was sitting at like 188 or something like that for the whole race, and those heart rates are typically sitting there from start to finish, which is usually a 20 to 30 minute race, and which is pretty ridiculous. I mean, they fluctuate a little bit, but something happens on the bike, something happens on the track, you make a mistake and your heart rate spikes, so you're back up there again. So to train for that in the gym, we got to do a lot of intense, basically circuit training, similar to CrossFit would be the easiest way to put it, but there's a lot more balance and technique thrown into it, and maybe a little bit less on the weightlifting side, but just super intense workouts. But if you watch somebody ride, just count the amount of times you see them sit down and stand up on the bike with all that gear from head to toe. You got goggles on so you can't see very well, you got blurred vision, and basically in corners you'll see us sit down and put a foot out. Basically that other leg that's still on the bike and isn't out, you're weighting the heck out of your outside peg to get traction. That's basically holding a one-legged squat through that whole corner and then standing up out of the corner, sometimes using your other leg. So you're basically, every corner you're doing one-legged squat. Basically you're holding a squat through the whole track if you're riding correctly. And that's just legs. You got your whole upper body going on with the handlebars bouncing back and forth, the whole bike's moving. Not to mention your coordination of working the clutch, working your front brake, your back brake, and your shifter, and coordinating all that as you go through the track. So there's just a lot more to it than I think anybody really knows or gets in depth with in detail to explain to somebody who just doesn't even know what's going on, which is fine. I mean, I can't expect you to know what the hell you're talking about or looking at if you've never actually ridden a dirt bike, but it's a lot more intense than most people think. A lot of people just look at it and like, oh, don't you just stand on the dirt bike and twist the throttle? No, you're holding that thing on for dear life and trying not to die, basically. But there's a lot more that goes into it. There's a lot of most of our workouts that we do are core based because you're basically holding yourself level with your core. You're squeezing the bike with your legs, trying to stay in the center of the bike with your face basically right over the handlebars and number plate. But yeah, if you want any more detail on it, comment below, ask me some questions, and maybe I'll answer them in the next video. Ask me about my workouts. I've thrown up quite a few earlier in my channel, so if you actually want to see them, you can probably scroll down and go look at them. And those are just pretty spot on to what we do. Usually the workouts we do are 12 to 20 minutes. Sometimes we'll throw a longer one in there, but honestly a lot of the super high intensity shorter workouts do you better when you actually get on the bike and go for 20 to 30 minutes. And you're not going to get really fitter. I mean, you'll get fitter if you do my workouts and you're not riding, you'll definitely get fit for sure. But for racing, you're not going to get fitter unless you're doing those workouts and you're on the bike. And those workouts actually make you faster on the bike rather than, I mean, they obviously get you in shape for racing, but the goal is to make you faster, basically. But they're fun. Go give one a shot if you want, or you see them. But comment below if you have any questions or want to know anything more, and maybe I'll get to it. So for now, I'm just going to go to the track and go do some motos, get some good riding in. Track should be freaking awesome. And then I think later tonight I'm going to head home like around 1, and then we'll be watching Supercross tonight. So hope you guys have a good Saturday. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet just because I'm going to get busy today, and I don't know how often I'm going to actually be able to pick this GoPro up. So but anyways, yeah, comment below, and hopefully you guys have a good Saturday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Later.